Again. All right, here we go, boys and girls. Oh, come on. Who did that? All right.
It was him.
Stop throwing books around. 9.8. We are graphing linear. So we're doing the same thing we've been doing. Okay, this is the same thing. We're graphing linear lines. Excuse me, but they're going to be inequalities this time. Graphing linear inequalities. Okay. Remember, this is what we've been doing. Graphing lines. Okay. But this time we're going to be dealing with inequalities. Raise your hand if you can tell me what is an inequality with.
It's the ones where you have the greater sign, the less than sign, or the greater than or equal to, or the less than or e, and then you have the ones that are...
Okay. No, you're right. It's these things right here.
And then there's also the equal sign with the...
Well, the equal sign is the regular old...
with the cross through.
Okay, that is not equal, and I don't think we're going to be dealing with that. Okay? But, because we're graphing lines. But you're correct. Y'all know what we're talking about. So we have less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. All right. A shaded graph may be used to indicate all of the numbers that would make an inequality true. Basically, all numbers that could work in the equation. So when with regular graphing of equations, you have like 1, 2 numbers that would work in ordered pair, and one ordered pair. Okay. In this case, there's going to be a whole lot that could work, because instead of saying equal to, y is equal to mx plus b, this is going to be y is less than or greater than, mx plus b. So it could be all kinds of numbers that could work. Yes, sir.
So that Super Bowl wasn't very super, wasn't it?
No, the Super Bowl was not super.
It was more of the average bowl.
I'm very disappointed in Kansas City.
Let's just not talk about it.
I'd rather not talk about it.
Not in Kansas anymore.
That was just bad.
Don't waste
All right.
Miss Rogers' words.
Okay, here we go. 2 stars, which doesn't seem to matter with this class, but according to Thursday's class, a dashed line. Does anyone remember what a dashed line means, or does anyone know?
Did we do that?
Have we done it? I don't know. We've been doing it in Algebra 1. Dashed line is going to be greater than or less than. So anytime your equation has a greater than or less than, it's going to be a dashed line. Bless you.
Bless you.
A solid line is going to be your greater than or equal to or less than and equal to. And my students always say they remember it because there's a solid line underneath the inequality. So when you see the solid line under the inequality, that means your actual line that you're graphing is going to be solid. Does that make sense? Make sure you have this written down. You'll need it. Okay, example. If I have y is less than 5x plus 4, is that a solid or dashed line, Cecilia?
Dash line.
It's dashed. Of course, this isn't all that we're doing. All right. What? Yeah, man. What is the slope, Izzy?
4.
Which is it?
4.
The slope is your y. I mean your m. Which is it?
5.
That's right. And we can say 5 over 1. That's your rise over run. So then what is the y-intercept, Izzy? That's right. And yes, we are about to graph it. So you need to know when you see the equation, that means it's dashed. We know our slope. We know our y-intercept. Here's how you learn this. If it's less than, or if it's less than and equal to, you shade below the line. If it's greater than or greater than and equal to, you shade above the line.
What is the line?
The line that we graph, I'm going to show you. You know how we graph lines? We did that last Thursday. Well, I'm about to show you how to do it. Now, hopefully, while I was away, you guys worked on your IXL and practiced this stuff. Again, this stuff is on the 6 weeks exam. All right. It is on the 6 weeks exam, which is Friday. All right, y'all got this all down? You ready back there, little man? Got it? All right, here we go. So this is my example. You can just kind of draw it on your paper. I want to draw it to scale so that we have a good understanding. So this is going to be y is less than 5x plus 4. We have determined that this is dashed. You don't have to write this part because you've already written it, correct? The slope is what again, Izzy?
5.
Very good. And we can write it as 5 over 1, your rise over run.
That runs.
And then your y-intercept, which is b, was 4. Now, according to this, look at this. Emily, am I going to shade below or above this line? You're correct. Because it's less than, you're going to shade below. Because it's less than. So you need to make sure you write that down. Because it's less than, you shade below. Any questions on that so far? Does everyone understand that if it's less than, you shade below? If it's greater than, you shade above. Does everyone understand? If you don't, you need to raise your hand. And once I do this example, it's probably going to bring it home. Okay, let's see. Cecilia, what is the first thing I plot on my graph?
5 over 1. Like 4.
Which is it?
4.
Are you sure?
No.
Joanne, what's the first thing I plot on my graph?
4.
I was
Are
right.
you sure?
Oh, no.
You said 2 different things, girlfriend.
There was 2
Are you sure? You don't seem sure. Michaela, what's the first thing I plot on my graph? Do you know?
Y. 4.
Okay, Michael, what's the first thing I plot on my graph?
4.
Gabby, what's the first thing I plot on my graph? Y-intercept. Aiden, what's the first thing?
Y-intercept.
Taylor?
Y-intercept.
Whit?
Y-intercept.
Izzy? Emily? That's right. Y-intercept is the first thing that we plot on our graph. So the y-intercept is 4. So I'm on the, everyone better be paying attention because last Thursday there were still people that didn't get this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm putting a dot on the y. Putting a dot on the y. Do y'all see that? Now I do my slope. And I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over right 1 because they're both positive. But I can also go down, to have both negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. They're both positive, so you're supposed to do that, but you can change them to both being negative. It's a dashed line.
Miss Rogers, so you could do it to where you could just go down. You wouldn't have to do the one that goes up.
Okay, it's dashed. Now, Emily said we're going to shade below the line. This is my line, guys. That's my line. You got to think, which side of that pen is below? Taylor?
The right side.
The right side. This is below the line because it's tilted that way. This would be above the line. Does everyone see that? It's hard for some kids, so therefore I'm going to shade it on this side.
Oh no, this is
Okay.
dashed.
Okay, so let's see. Look at this pen. Where would below be? Whit,
It would be below.
okay?
It would be right there.
If I turn it like this, where would below be?
On the right side.
Where would below be now?
On the left side.
Bingo.
Okay.
What if it's straight up?
Okay.
There's no below then if it's completely vertical. So look right here. Here's my line again. I always put my pen there, and here's what I do to kids, because this is a visual thing. It's hard. It really is. Even for my Algebra 1 kids, I start off with my pen like this, and I'll say, which is below? Well, that's obvious. It's down here. Okay, watch me start turning it. And if I stop it right here, which is it? Oh, I get it. It's here. Now, if I keep turning it and it's like this, all of a sudden we start seeing that the below is over here. You see what I'm saying now?
That's confusing.
You will get used to it, but it's like if we were skiing. Would you ski on this side below the slope or on this side? Yeah. Okay, so think of yourself as a skier. You want to skate. You want to ski on top of the slope, not below the slope. All right. So that's what we're doing today. Right there. That'd be it. No, it's not. Well, I'm doing a bunch of examples. Okay, so no, we're doing the examples now. All right. So it's taking everything we did on Thursday and now applying it to inequality. So open up your book to page 385. So we're doing examples, page 385.
Do you have any tweezers?
I do not have tweezers.
I have a splinter in my finger.
Okay, I will take your splinter out or have the nurse take the splinter out as soon as I'm done teaching math.
You do that, like,
No, I'll have him go soak his finger in water and then we'll just rip it out. Okay, number 2. Shh. Determine whether the line on the graph of the solution should be dashed or solid. So all you're doing here is determining whether it's, what am I doing? All you're doing here is determining whether it's a solid or dashed line. Michaela, I think you can handle this. Is that dashed or solid?
It is dashed.
That's right. And that's your answer. Remember, if it has that line under here, meaning it's also equal, that's kind of your clue as to whether it's a solid line.
On the page, if we get it wrong, will we have to write why?
Yep.
Okay. Why is
4. Y is greater than or equal to 2 over 5x minus 8. Izzy.
solid?
Very good, Izzy. 6. 7x minus 2y is less than 12. Cecilia. Dashed. Good job. 8. 5x plus y is less than or equal to 4. Emily. Okay, that's fine.
Solid.
That's a solid answer.
Yeah.
Good job, Emily. Okay. No, no questions. No. Do you have to use the restroom? Are you bleeding? Do you need to throw up? Then we need to move on. Okay. So we understand dashed and solid lines, right? Okay. Do you, Taylor, have a question on solid or dashed lines? Okay, very good. Well, let's move on. The next section we don't care about. And the next question we don't care about. So we're going to go straight to number 20. And I'm going to do that all on graphed paper. Here we go, children. Now, you can do this on either graph or your regular paper just as long as you understand. So, 20, boys and girls, it says graph the solutions to the following inequalities. What does it mean, graph the solutions. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Graph the answers. Graph all the ways that we could do this. So remember, the shaded part here are all the ordered pairs that could work in this equation. Not just one, but like I could pick a point anywhere in this shaded area. I could do this one and substitute the x and y in here and it would work. Like I'll even show you. No, I don't want to show you. I'll show you later. You can pick a point anywhere in this shaded area and substitute the x and the y and it would work. You want me to show y'all anyway?
Yeah.
Okay. I will do it. So this dot right here would be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so watch this not work. All right, so I'm going to put this is my x and this is my y. See, I didn't do this ahead of time, so we'll see. So we're substituting. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, so I picked a random spot in the shaded area. Does everyone see that? I wrote down the ordered pair. That's my x, that's my y. I took my original equation and I substituted the 4 in the y spot and the 5 in the x spot. Does everyone see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 5 times 5 is what?
25.
And 25 plus 4 is?
29.
Is 29 greater than 4?
Yes.
It works. That's what this means. This means that because it's an inequality, now if this was an equal sign, this would absolutely not work. That's what y'all did on Thursday. You see what I'm saying? In this case, though, this is a less than or greater than, it's an inequality. So that means that any ordered pair in this shaded area should work. Now, I will tell you, I tell my Algebra 1 class this all the time. You can check yourself to make sure that you got it right before I grade it by doing that. Say, because a lot of kids, I have a certain high schooler in my Algebra 1 class that, oh my gosh, this stuff right here made him so mad. This stuff right here made him so mad because he just, I don't know, he got confused on which side to shade. And I would tell him, pick an ordered pair anywhere on the graph. It could be here, it could be here, anywhere. And just substitute the x and y in there and see if it works. It will tell you. He did not want to take the time to do that. You know, and I get it. You don't want homework or anything. But then it could be a wrong answer. Or I may circle it and say, okay, now you got to go back. So you're spending extra time anyway, right? So just choosing a random place and checking it and you don't have to choose a lot, just one. Just one. You could even choose 0 and 0. Okay? And if it works, right? Then you know. Okay, so let's do 20. 20 says y is less than or equal to negative 1 over 5x plus 2. Now remember, that negative sign, boys and girls, is not with the 1 and the 5. You have to choose whether it's negative 1 and positive 5 or positive 1 and negative 5. Okay? Now the first question I ask, is that in y equals mx plus b format? Is that in the correct format?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is. Very good. So then we don't have to rearrange anything. We can just start graphing. So and guys, write this stuff down so you don't make mistakes. Is this a solid or dashed line? Raise your hand. Whit?
Solid.
It's solid. Are you shading below or above, Whit?
You're shading below.
Very good. See how I'm writing all this down? These are my little notes. Shade below. And by the way, even as a math major in college, I wrote this stuff down for every single problem. Now, my other question, Izzy, what is my slope? Very good. We're going to say -1/5. That's my rise over run. And then what is my y-intercept, Cecilia? 2. Very good. Now, boys and girls, we can graph. And Michaela, what we're doing today will probably help you do Thursday's work.
This is not too.
You'll catch on. Okay. So question. Michael, what do I plot first? See, Celia, I got you off the hook. Michael, what do I plot first?
2.
Is he correct?
Yes.
Very good. So our y-intercept, the 2, is what we plot first. And I put it right here on the y-axis. I don't start moving it around. It's not floating around, boys and girls. Your y-intercept, right here, that number right there needs to be on the y-axis. Now I can do my slope. I go down 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go +1 and -5 now. Up 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And by the way, we're doing linear equations. If your dots do not form a perfect line, you have done something wrong. That was funny grading some papers. I'm like, come on. And it's a solid line. And Whit said we shade below. Now, this is quite obvious which is below. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all see that? So I'm going to shade below. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to check myself. See, I sound just like my students. But if I were to choose any number or any spot on this graph in the shaded area, I could. And I could put like 0. I could choose 0, 0. I could put a 0 here and multiply 0 with this. That would give me 0 is less than or equal to 2. Is 0 less than or equal to 2? Yes, it is. So there's your answer. Any questions? All right, let's do another one. Does everyone have this?
Yeah, I saw
Do you have a question?
kind of.
Does it have to do with this?
Yes.
Okay, then go ahead.
So, you know how you said people have troubles knowing which side of the line?
Okay.
For the, less than and less than or equal to,
Yes, sir.
the top part looks like the line would be where it would be under. Like, see?
The top
Can I
part.
show you what I mean?
Yeah. Sure. Because this may be helpful. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so Taylor found something. I like this.
Get that paper.
Michaela, move out of the way. Okay. So if it's less than, like see how this line is right here? If it's less than, you're shading underneath it like that. If it's greater than, it's going to be shaded like this. That kind of helps with your little inequality symbol. Good job, Taylor. Okay. You know, honestly, it's kids that come up with a lot of these tricks and things and ways to remember. So, and y'all understand each other better than you understand adults. So, I appreciate the help on that. Okay, so is this in our y equals mx plus b format that it has to always be in, Michael?
Yes.
Yes, we don't have to move anything around. We have y on one side and everything on the other. It's ready to go. So yes, it is in that correct format. Let's see, this time I am going to pick on Emily. Oh, great. All right, is this solid or dashed? Very good, you're correct. It's dashed. Emily, am I shading below or above?
Below.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to shade below. Whoops, below, because that's less than. Good job. And let's see. Michael, what is my slope? -3, and we can put it over 1. And what is my y-intercept, Joanne?
2.
Very good. Aiden, what do I plot first? The B or the 2. Very good. My y-intercept. I do these things for fun. I enjoy it. Okay. So my y-intercept is 2. It goes on first, right on that y axis. I better not see y-intercepts floating around, boys and girls. They go on the y-axis. Now I do my slope. I'll go down 3 and positive right 1. 1, 2, 3, and 1. Or I can flip it. I could do a positive 3 and a negative 1. So in that case, I could go 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And Emily said it's a dashed line. And you will use rulers today. And she also said we shade below. So Whit, do I shade on the left or the right side?
The left.
There you go. Any questions? None? Well, I got 2 more for y'all. So once y'all have this down, we will move on to the next 2.
Oh wait, I don't think it works with that problem thing that I came up with.
Oh. Okay. I just seen that too. You know what? That's okay. I like the way your brain was thinking earlier.
It was working on the previous.
It was working. You're right.
Good.
Do you have it, Michaela?
Yes.
Okay.
And the one.
Okay, so let's move to 26. Is 6x minus 2y is greater than 12. Izzy Lou, is this in the y equals mx plus b format? No, it is not. So we have to do that. So Izzy, once you have this written down, I want you to tell me what my first move is going to be to get it into that format. And I'll give you a hint. Intruder alert. I'm going to get y all by itself. Here's y. So what do I need to move first? Just the 6? Okay, so I need to get, see, here's the number and x on this side of the equal sign. So here it is over here. I got to move it over. Aiden, do you have a question? Oh, no, I'm going to let Izzy do it. So Izzy, we have to move this whole term, not just the 6, but the 6 and the x. So how do I do that? you're going to subtract it because that is positive. We're not dividing it because if we divided it, we're separating the two. But we want to move the whole term, so I'm going to subtract 6x on both sides. Good job. Does everyone see why we're subtracting? Because this was positive at first, so we've got to move it by doing the opposite. I'm left with negative 2y is greater than negative 6x plus 12. Now, Cecilia, what do I do?
You put everything after over 2.
So we're dividing everything by what?
-2.
Okay, and when I say divide everything, we're dividing everything by -2. Now, oh my. Now I know y'all did this. What is the rule with inequalities if you divide or multiply by a negative, Gabby? Okay, so if, here's notes, when you divide by a negative, flip the inequality. That's right. Now that I know we have done. So in any time you divide or multiply by a negative, you flip the inequality. So we're going to flip this. So I'm left with y is less than. And what's negative divided by negative?
Positive.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
you're
okay,
right.
I thought it
No,
was
go
this
ahead. It's positive.
positive.
So negative 6 divided by -2 is what, Michaela?
3x.
That's right, 3x. And positive 12 divided by -2, Michaela?
6.
Positive.
Negative.
That's right, -6. There you go. Now I want y'all to make sure you have all that written down and then take it in, because if you do not flip this, because we're dividing by negatives, then you will have a wrong answer. Now we have this in the correct format. Yes. No. So let's see. Taylor, solid or dashed line?
Dash.
Shade below or above? Emily? That's right. If it's less than, we shade below. Our slope is what, Cecilia?
3/1.
Very good, 3/1. And our y-intercept is what, Gabby? All right. Taylor, if you have this already completed, go to the bathroom and hurry back. Have you already graphed it? Okay, well then you should be graphing it. All right, so I'm going to graph this. Make sure I have room. And you are too. The first thing that I put on the graph is what, Izzy? Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my plot. My slope is 3/1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, or 1. It's a dashed line. And I shade below. Emily, which side should I shade it on? Left or right? Very good. Any questions? Taylor, can you handle one more? Okay. Does everyone have this?
Oh, it's dashed.
Got it, Joanne? Got it, Michaela? All right. Last one. 28. It's x minus 3y is less than or equal to 9. Is it in the y equals mx plus b format, Joanne?
No.
No, so we've got to fix it. So, Cecilia, what's the first thing I need to move?
X.
And how do I do that?
X. Under X.
So, you're dividing?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Aiden, can you help her out?
You subtract x.
Okay, we're going to subtract x because x is all by itself. It's a positive, so we're going to subtract x on both sides. And I'm left with negative 3y is less than or equal to negative x plus 9. Do you see that, Cecilia?
Wait, don't. Oh, wait, no, we're not dividing. Are we?
We
Can't-
subtracted.
Can't you also put 8 because you could put a 1?
No, because these are unlike terms. You can't combine a letter and a non-letter when you're adding and subtracting. Okay, Michael, what do I do now?
Divide. -3 by everything else.
Everything. Cecilia, I'm dividing by a negative. What do I need to do? What important thing do I need to remember to do?
Switch the sign.
There you go. Switch that sign. So I'm left with y is greater than or equal to. Now here, look everyone. I have a negative x over a negative 3. First of all, Aiden, a negative over negative becomes a.
Positive.
And if I don't have a number here, what do I pretend?
1.
So what would the slope be?
1 over 3.
1 over 3 and then x. That's right. Make sure you see that because that can throw you off. And then positive 9 divided by negative 3 is what, Aiden?
Negative.
Negative 3. So, Joanne, solid or straight line?
It's gonna be a solid.
Very good. Taylor, shade above or below?
Above.
Very good. What is my slope, Cecilia?
1 over 3.
And Emily, what's my y-intercept? Very good. So now I graph it. What's the first thing I plot, Michael?
The -3.
Very good.
Wait, isn't it -9 divided by -3?
Yes. So what's 9 divided by negative 3?
It's divided by 12.
Got it? Okay. And then my slope is 1 over 3. So 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. It's a solid line. And we shade above. So I'm shading above. There's my answer. Any questions? Be very careful with this stuff. All right, you are going to do page 385, numbers, let's see. Okay. You're going to do numbers 21 through 31 odd. And on the next page, numbers 43 to 51 odd. That'll be good for the 6 weeks exam.
How many problems is that?
I don't know, you can count it. It is due Tuesday. Your IXL is due Wednesday. Your exam, 6 weeks exam, is Friday.